Hello everyone, we are in the main menu for Pure Chess, and we're going to go to Chess Challenges, top right hand corner of the screen, top 1 bonus games, and we're of course going to mate in 5 right there. And today we're going to tackle problem number 17. Now, as always, if you'd like, you can go ahead and hit pause if you haven't already done so. Okay, I'm guessing you had some time to take a look at this here. This one's a little bit tricky. It's mate in 5, and well, let's start with the position here. Black has a king on h8, and it has no flight squares. We got a few pieces, and we like to get a back row mate. We have his queen right here on g5, and it's kind of boxed in. We like to get it involved if we can. We have this rook on f1. We like to get involved, but the f8 square protected by the bishop, and the bishop on g7 also protects this e5 square right here. This pawn on e5. We have a knight positioned on e7 that is protected by our queen on g5. Now, ideally, if we could get our queen to this g8 square, we could have checkmate, because there's pretty much nothing black could do. Problem is, we've got all these pieces in the way, and we got to do it in 5 moves. Plus, if we move our rook, if we move our f1 rook, that opens up row 1 to a series of checks from black. Black's got, a rook on b2, and of course black has his queen on d7. So the question is, how do we get checkmate in 5? And one of the points I've tried to emphasize in solving these type of problems is we got to try to look for ways to simplify and shorten it down. And this one is, we've only got, a few major pieces here. We got a couple pawns, too, on h2, g2. What we need to do is figure out a series of moves that limits black's options and helps solve it. So we want a series of checks. The question is, which piece do we want to check with? Well, we can't go check with the queen, so that piece we can't use. We've got a knight. Now, we could go knight takes g6 check, but that doesn't work, and it also kind of hurts our position. You remember, our knight is protected by the queen. Yeah, so we'd like to keep our knight in position. Our knight actually has good position because it can work with, the queen, potentially the queen or the rook, to put put black away with checkmate. So the question is, what exactly do we do here? The only piece we can do check with is basically rook sacrifice, rook f8 check. So we're going to play rook f8 check, and the idea here is to pull this bishop on the g7 square to f8, and that will allow our queen to go to e5. Our queen at e5 would still be defending our knight, and then we'll put so it'll be 2 checks in a row basically. So we're going to play rook to f8 check. And of course, black moves the bishop to f8 and takes. Okay, we're going to play queen to e5 check. Black put its bishop back where it was. So, okay, we've made 2 moves, but we got to get checkmate, right? We're not in position to do that. The reason we wanted to get our queen to this e5 square is because now our queen has a lot more options. Obviously, g7 check is not going to work. But now, if you remember, black's queen on d7 was defending these three back row squares, c8, d8, and e8. But it's not, black's queen is not defending b8. So we're going to play queen to b8 check. And if you can probably guess right here, black is in a world of hurt, and it's pretty much over. So black defends with a queen. There's nothing defending the queen, so we can play queen takes d8, check. Black only has one more piece left to move, and that's the bishop moves back to f8. Now all we do is play queen takes f8, check, and it'll be checkmate because all black's flight squares are blocked. And of course that solves the problem. And that wraps this up. I am signing out. I'd like to thank you for watching.